Where to begin? I don't know. I'm just so exhausted. In a weird way, I feel like I'm sitting on, sorry, I'm scratching my balls for a second. I feel like I'm in going back to one of the first times I was at Video Diaries, or when me and my sister went to Malaysia and then Sydney with our mum. And there's a scene or clip when we're in Penang, which is now in North Malaysia, if you didn't know. And we set the camera up on the edge of where the bar, or kettle center stock is. We recorded into this twin room of the two of us, three of us in the room together. Just talking about this like holiday vacation thing, like, hello and welcome to Rasa Sayang. And so just sitting on the bed now and just looking at how the mirror is reflecting into that. I'm having a out of body experience, like a astral projection, kind of like into my younger self. So for those of you who don't know where I am currently staying in a hotel in Bratislava, Slovakia. I just attended a wedding for now the married couple, because the wedding was yesterday. And you probably can hear also from my voice how I'm talking, and it's very strained. Because it was a full-on event, and it was the first time was with my mum when she got remarried. But this time I was a bridesman. Oops. It was hard to do because I was wearing groom attire, the groomsman attire, but as a bridesman on the bride side. And it's I think it's one thing when you attend a wedding and being gay and it's your female friend who's getting married and married to a heterosexual, and you are the matron or the male part of a traditionally female bridal party. And it's one of those weekends where the bridal groom did so much planning and effort to just get everyone to Bratislava, because that's where she's from, and then the groom is from Belgium. So all families were kind of coming together for this massive shindig, celebration of love and all that lot. And a long time ago, I was asked to be part of the wedding party. And at one point I didn't think I was going to be able to make it here, but I'm very grateful for what they did for me personally. So I can only imagine of how much attention they've given to everyone, family, friends, evening guests, everyone just coming for this massive shindig, soiree, dance. So the funny thing is though, so there was four of us in the bridal party, and we were when we went to go walk down the aisle, there was four in the groom's party. And usually traditionally bridesmaids with the groomsmen, and you go walk down the aisle. And there was two little page boys as well, but they worked with the bride. And we walked in with the groom, with his mum, and then things like that. But at some point I'm realising I'm going to be partnered up with one of the groomsmen. Now I've never met any of them before until then now, and I don't know to what extent certain areas of the world or certain people are comfortable, familiar with how two men should walk down the aisle that are not an item, one being gay or interested in men, the other one being interested in women. Then because I'm quite self-aware, or I self-aware then overthink, then try to overanalyze, or then try to take control of the situation, we were sat at the back, and I think they kind of did it in a height way. There was this lovely gentleman who stood next to me, and we realised as we were about to go, I was like, hello, excuse me, can I ask a question? We're walking down individually, but just side by side? Are we looping hands? Because I'm sure that's how we would. And how do you want us to do this? Because we're asking the wedding coordinator to how, because until like an hour before the ceremony, we didn't know quite how it was going on. All four of us, bride crew, because we all had t-shirts. All four of us had very different connections to the bride and groom, and so we didn't quite understand the whole picture. We were just trying to do our jobs, get to this place between A and B, trying to get taxis or Ubers across Slovakia to where the castle was, as opposed to where the venue was, from Bratislava Central to... Anyway. And so I was realising that as we were just about to walk down, because it was an outdoor wedding. I just didn't know. And because there's a language barrier as well, they speak Flemish, I had to ask a very genuinely honest question, which made it kind of awkward. And I was asking the lady who was the wedding coordinator, I was like, so hello, how do we want us to be? Because at that point, I didn't know how to ask him. I was like, are you comfortable with taking me down the aisle? But then I realised I'm not comfortable being the girl in that situation. And so I'm sure he probably wouldn't have been comfortable with it either. I didn't ask him, but because I didn't want it that way, I don't think he wanted it that way, I was speaking on behalf of both of us to try and organise it. So you can tell my head is already like, confusing. But why is it, and the groom then literally clicked, like 30 seconds before we were about to go down the aisle. And he's like, oh yeah, how do you want them to be? I was like, is that okay, la la. We all made jokes like, oh, here's my husband. We all giggled and laughed, but I used quite a good level of humour or sarcasm to make people feel more comfortable and less awkward. So I took charge of the matter because I work front of house, I work in hospitality, a hosting environment. And so I was like, right, how then, if we're the back of the group, how do I make this then look at least sensible, smart, and we look like we're both bringing up the rear. And so the bride was on the left-hand side, so I had a corsage here, that everyone was like, it's a bit too feminine for you. I'm like, I don't mind me being labelled and feminine that, and I can own myself in it, but when I have an extra person who might not be in the loop as well. So what I did was so imagine I'm like this, and so I walked down the aisle with my hand down, so my corsage was, because the bridesmaids definitely were carrying bouquets. I had my arm down there, and then I just put my hand behind my back. So as we were walking, and I don't know if that looked natural or not, or I have my hands on my front. And then he mirrored me, so therefore he then had his arm on and he had his arm on the side. So we both looked like we were both symmetrically walking the right bouncers. And I think it worked. I don't know how it looked. I don't know if it was in the video because we were all like trying to get the right pace, so we were like, slowly walk down the aisle, keep our separation. And I'm always the one stepping on girls' dresses. And the bridesmaids did have a lot longer dresses. We've tried to bring them up and hem them, but we just didn't have time to do it. A lot of things we just didn't have time to do. It was all as quickly done, even though it didn't start until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Anyway, we're now reached 10 minutes of this video, and I just wanted to... The wedding was fantastic. Like, once the ceremony was done, we all had drinks, Prosecco, I drank way too much, I danced way too much, I was on the floor way too much, I've got cuts on my arm there, I've got bruises on my kneecaps, I have a pretty painful base of my spine above my butt cheeks because I fell down and I was doing the limbo and matrix thing again, but it was a good night. And I went to a wedding reception thing in London a few years ago for a gay couple, and I asked them, is it okay if I wore Astro, because they know Astro a little bit, but because I'm... I can turn to another video about the pups, because going to a bridal party and going to the wedding where it's really hard to try and explain or understand what that means. I'm being the life of the party, I'm doing my own thing myself. And it's just not everyone's cup of tea, or not everyone understands it, everyone gets it, they think it's weird, and everyone thinks it's creepy. And it is. But that's just my way of coping mechanism. Oh, I'm getting something hot. But anyway. I did at some point where we're at this wedding, even though again it was so weird. I'm sure I looked like a dick. So I actually was again. I just looked a little bit off, just off, because I changed my outfit 3 times. I fell over and I was like having blood all over my t-shirt. So I was going to change that. I was like, ugh. But when you're drunk, no one cares. And there's always a crazy aunt, and there's always a drunk uncle, and there's always most of the men stay at the end. A lot of rock and roll, and so I'm doing salsa with the bride, because that's how I know her. It's just so much you can do at a wedding from how drunk you are, and also in a weird way what you can get away with. And so I had Astro for me because in a weird way I kind of needed an extra bit of support at the wedding because I didn't have a +1. So technically he was my +1. I actually had 2 +1s because I bought Lucifer as well the first time. Yeah, relevant. It does make you go through a mental process of fitting into a box, not allowing yourself to be in a category, and X, Y, and Z. But regardless, I had an amazing time. And today, just getting back to the hotel in Bratislava, I'm staying tonight, and then flying back to London tomorrow. So, finish the video off. We actually... So we ended up, for the bridal party, we ended up buying 2 bottles of sparkling wine, fizz. Mostly for the bride because she doesn't drink, and then the groom's sister, she was in the bridal party as well, she didn't drink, and so I got curious as to... Jesus Christ! I have never in my life, my face is gonna look so shocked, I've never in my life had a cork, I had a bottle pop that loud and that quickly in my presence. It's just giving me palpitations. I was telling a story and doing a shtick and you interrupted me. Anyway, so it's non-alcoholic. Because we were going to drink it getting ready for the ceremony, so we could all be together doing X, Y, and Z. But I've had the bottle with me now for the past 48 hours. And I was waiting to hopefully cheers and make my own little speech, but I did get a chance to do it for the throwing of the bouquet and that. But I'm going to say now, this is my somewhat shocking popping of my cork, but my toasting of non-alcoholic wine, which equally still shocks me to my very core because I wanted to go find where the hell I put that bloody thing landed. So, to the happy couple, may this first day of a new marriage be the first of the rest of your lives. And let's hope that one day we're doing it on my wedding. And let's hope I won't be... I know what I'm walking down the aisle to. Who for? Double, yay!